All right, let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to talk about Max Strus's return in a separate segment in a little bit, but let's focus on Saturday's game against the Sixers and specifically Evan Mobley. A darn near triple-double from Evan Mobley, and I was talking to Bull yesterday, and we were trying to figure out how to properly word this topic. So the question I want to ask you guys, it wasn't a career high, it wasn't the most threes, but was Saturday's performance against Philadelphia the best all-around game you've ever seen from Evan Mobley?
I think it was. I might be prisoner of the moment. And I know he just scored, what did he score, 41?
41 a couple weeks ago.
I just thought, he's 3 assists away from a triple-double. And I know Philly hasn't been very good. And, by the way, how goofy does Andre Drummond look with the white sweatpants or whatever he's wearing and the white long-sleeve undershirt? I mean, he looks like a guy playing in Mike's Rec League over there. He's a tall guy.
Listen, let me just...
I thought it was his best game, yeah. I thought it was so well-rounded. And one turnover also, and that was late in the game.
Man, I'm so happy to look at that. Hey, man, that wasn't there before. Jason, that wasn't there. Listen, this man is 2, 3, 4 dribbles, crossover, spin, I'm to the basket. It's fade. Look at the comfortable nature that he's out here playing. Oh, yeah, I ain't got it. Let me move. I'm too tall. Bank. This dude is playing like it's almost like he is NBA 2K and he just got a bunch of VC that he bought off his mom's credit card, and now all of a sudden he has off the dribble packages. This dude he has the dribbling badge. He's out here shooting jumpers. He has the dead eye. Look, he's dunking everything around the rim.
Like great pass from Jared Allen, by the way.
Look, he's just comfortable finishing everything. Like this is what we talk. Listen, I'm sorry, bro. Let me go ahead and put my apology in every moment. Maybe you got better because of this. I challenged your unicorn status. I did. I was on record saying, I don't know if you're a unicorn. You might be a zebra donkey, not a unicorn. Bro, you came with it, bro. You worked on your game in the offseason. I was on you about how you're not playing for Team USA. I was on you about a lot of different things. Bro, you came back. Look, you just dribbling the ball, just feeling comfortable about yourself. Go ahead, give me the rock.
By the way, obviously they got to prove. Before everybody's completely vindicated, they got to do it in the playoffs. We all understand that. But at the moment, all the screaming and yelling that you, that I, that Jay, and others did for the Cavs, they got to shake up the roster, We were wrong. They didn't have to shake up the roster. They just had to find the coach to help Evan Mobley develop. That's what they did. And right now, he looks like a borderline superstar.
I think sometimes Evan doesn't get enough credit for this.
Yes.
Because it's always framed as Kenny's bringing out the best in Evan.
I said help. I said help him become.
And I do think that they're putting him in different spots. And I do think that Kenny certainly is using him differently than he's been used previously. But for years, the Cavs were begging Evan to be more aggressive, to be more demonstrative on the floor. Like that isn't new. That's for years. Why won't he be? Everybody knows it's in there. Why can't we get that out of him? And I just think this offseason, Evan sort of took it on himself, and it's all just clicked. So and that's not to shirk any credit from Kenny, because again, we can go back to the Warriors conversation, and he's the Draymond of the Warriors offense. But I also think that that Evan had a mindset flip somewhere along the line of, I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to get to the basket. The dunk over the two guys.
That was, come on, left hand.
We're going to put it up again just because it was so filthy. But
yeah.
298, Steve. Jason, floor is yours. Talk about it. What a filthy play.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was always in there. It's just that now they're finally getting it out of him, and I think he deserves more credit than he's. I think he deserves more credit than he's getting for some of the changes that he's made his game. I know that sounds kind of goofy, but it's always like, well, the system fits him better. Well, I also think he finally took some accountability on himself that I got to get better at this, and he spent the summer working on it.
Mike did point out, as he mentioned, we were talking yesterday, and he pointed out though. That there are still times, I guess the only thing that's still a concern about Evan Mobley is there are times against the best of the best, like Giannis, where he's not as aggressive going to the basket still.
Oh, Mike, there are not many guys who are.
I was just saying, on Friday against Milwaukee, and the game was never that close, so it was never put on him, but he seems to, I don't want to say pick and choose, but he has these monster games against front courts that have no answer for him. Charlotte, no answer for him, hits the 6 threes. Saturday against Philly, no answer for him. Against Anthony Davis and the Lakers, he had that monster fourth quarter. The first 3 quarters, he had 4 points. Against Giannis, he still impacts it, but not as aggressive as he is in other matches.
What I'll say to that, Mike, and this is to Jason's point also, is players are always developing. He's still very young. And he's obviously taken, after his career was just kind of on a steady path for 3 years. Now this year, he's shot up like this. But there's still another level to his game when he does this consistently against the other great players. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe that's a level that he doesn't hit till next year. Because of the huge jump he's taken this year, I think there's every reason to believe that eventually, I get it. Giannis is great, and Jokic is great, and Embiid is great in his own way. But eventually, I think he's going to say, "Yeah, I can play with those guys, and I'm going to be as aggressive against those guys."
See, Bull, I think, and y'all correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think that you're seeing the trajectory in this game just by the eye test and look at them every single day. But we haven't even really seen a crazy bump in the numbers. I think the numbers will lag behind it, and then eventually, it may not be this year, but next year, you'll see him take that jump where it's, you get 18, 19 right now. He may be around 22, 23, and a couple more rebounds, 23, 11, and maybe 4 or 5 assists. And the numbers ain't even got there yet.
Yeah. What are the numbers compared to last year right now, Mike? I know we did it a couple of weeks ago.
Right now I'll give you exact. I don't have the graphic for it. I'm just going to read it. But this season, 18.4 points per game. Last season, 15.7. So pretty significant.
Yeah, that's almost 3 points a game.
Field goal percentage. Last year he shot 57.9%. This year, he's shooting 57.1, so slightly down, so
but that's
slightly.
only because he's taking a lot more threes than last year, probably.
He's taking 1 more 3 per game than last year, exactly. Okay. 1.2 versus 2.2.
What's his 2-point field goal percentage this year versus last?
2-point field goal percentage this year versus last year within 1.5.
Okay,
essentially
go ahead.
Same.
Yeah.
He's averaging 1.3 more shot attempts this game than last year. It's essentially that extra 3.
Yeah.
The attempts almost similar. Last season,
crazy. It seems like he's shooting the ball.
So he's the best case, and I've been trying to find the perfect example. He is legitimately the best case of why you can't just look at a box score.
Yes, absolutely.
He is the antithesis, the opposite of a box score watcher, because what you see him do on the court is night and day different from last year.
Yeah.
The improvements are evident, but when you look at the stats, his rebounds higher last season than they were this season. Assists higher last season than they were this season.
That's hard to believe.
His blocks, exactly the same. His steals, 0.9 last season, 1.1 this season. He's averaging more turnovers than he did last season. His free throw percentage is up 8 points. That's the biggest statistical jump.
Even though he had a bad game against, was it Philly, where he's like 1 for 5 from the line?
He had a game recently where it wasn't as good. But he's been a really good free throw shooter. Outside of the points, the statistical profile, if you did a blind resume test, it's about identical to last season.
It is so weird. It seems like
it is a completely different player.
Yeah, we all feel like he's taking this massive jump, and you wouldn't really see it by the stats.
Because you can't take account in that where he's getting the ball on the floor. Like, if you say all 2-point shots ain't created equally, the 2-point shots he may have been taking might have been high handoffs from Darius Garland or a bounce and a putback dunk. Now, he never had none of this. He's already in the rim. He taking 2-3 dribbles, pivoting. His footwork is better. Ball handling is better. So when you see those 2-point shots, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Is there a statistic for like creating your own offense versus getting the ball and just putting it in?
There is. Give me a second. I'll
because that's got to be a big difference for him. No,
it's called usage rate. Essentially, Jason, while I'm looking up, you want to explain what usage rate is and how it's kind of calculated?
How often you have the ball in your hands and how often you're creating.
I mean, that's got to be significant difference.
His usage rate is way up from what it was last year. It's the highest of his career right now.
Right. And so, I think if last year, did he ever take the ball from the top of the key or the foul line and go to the basket?
Rarely.
Right? And this year he does it all the time. So it actually makes sense, I guess, that his field goal percentage would be down a little bit because there's going to be times where as he's adjusting to his new style of play that he's going to miss some shots.
To the usage rating stat real quick.
Yeah.
He has a 23.4 usage rate percentage this season. Mm-hmm. Last season, 20.6, so up 3%. Which
I don't know what
that's a pretty
that's significant.
It's a pretty significant change for a team that has other guys with high usage rates like Donovan and Darius.
That's the point I was going to make. Is his numbers overall may not look that much different, but think about the jump that Darius has made. Returning this year to the sort of the level that you expect from him. This team is so deep, and they're scoring at such a higher clip, and yet he's been able to maintain a lot of his other numbers.
Right.
It more goes into it than just looking at the numbers and comparing to last year.
I was really impressed over like the weekend because there were times where Milwaukee didn't play Damian Lillard, right? But for the most part, everybody else was playing, and they just got them out of there. Like it wasn't like there was times where Cavs would have came out and been slow or struggled or not came out with the right energy or turned the ball over a lot. But they got Giannis and them out of here. Like when I watched them play, they literally believe like, oh yeah, Paul George, you had your day in the sun. Like that was you had your day in the sun, Paul. Listen, Milwaukee, you're not the Milwaukee of a couple years ago. And the way they come in and just be like, oh, yeah, get them out of here, especially at home, it shows that they're not only just playing well, they're believing that you guys, we believe at this point that we are the best team in the league.
All of a sudden, I don't know if it's all of a sudden, it just feels that way to me, that all the old, like the old guard great players are all like they falling down the tubes, aren't they?
A lot of them, yeah.
Washed. I mean,
by the way, they're old, legitimately old.
I know they're not playing terrible basketball. They've been okay. The Lakers have to be the most talked about, uninteresting story in the history of sports.
Yeah.
Is that unfair?
They're done.
Yeah, but they have LeBron, so they're going to be a constant.
I mean, the Cowboys, it's the
but they're not
the ESPN effect.
But now they're not being talked about that much right now. Who cares about the Lakers? No offense, who gives a shit about LeBron right now? I don't care about LeBron. I don't care about the unibrow. They suck. They're not winning anything. I don't care. I'm thinking about blocking Dave McMenamin on Twitter because I don't want to see his tweets about the Lakers.
I love Dave,
but I got to mute him. I don't want to see tweets on my timeline about the Lakers. Who gives a crap?
Well, his job's to cover the Lakers. So
I
don't get
know
mad at Dave McMenamin for tweeting about the Lakers.
I'm not blaming him. I just don't care about the Lakers.
I'm sending this clip to Dave, and he's so petty.
Yeah,
he will call you.
I love Dave. He's great, but I don't care about the Lakers.
To your point, Bull.
I know it's his job.
The old guard, like if you take a look at Anthony Davis, LeBron, Kawhi.
I find those guys all boring. I have no interest in any of them.
Kawhi Leonard. What's the other guy? Who he plays in Phoenix? Not
Kevin Durant.
No, not Durant. What's the other?
Not interested in him either.
Bradley Beal, Paul
Butler.
George.
They're all older. Yeah,
all of them.
Them old
don't care about any of them.
They watched.
Put Embiid on that list too. I know he's not that old, but I don't care about him.
Embiid's older than you think. He's not LeBron old.
I mean, he missed the first 4 years of his career.
Yeah.
What is that, Embiid, 31?
He's 31, yeah.
I'm embracing the Cavs. I find the Celtics interesting. I find the Thunder interesting. They're a good young team. These old guys, I don't give a rat's ass about any of them.
This may mean nothing.
Yeah.
I want to go back to because I was thinking about this in my head. I want to go back to usage rate that we were talking about with Evan.
Mm-hmm.
And what was Evan's usage rate again this year?
23.4.
Okay, so that's like when you're playing with two ball-dominant guards,
Mm-hmm.
right, and you still have a 23.4 usage rate. I went back and looked. That's actually right where Kevin's was the year they won the championship. So his usage rate. So just that, I'm just trying to give context, and I don't know what LeBron's and Kyrie's were. I didn't have time to look it up.
Yeah.
But you're like the ball's usually in Donovan and Darius's hands. So although, again, this is the spike in Evan's usage rate. So how does that compare to when they won the championship? Kevin was around 28, 29 usage rate when he was in Minnesota, came to Cleveland and dropped to 21 his first year, which is massive. But then the year they won the championship, he was right around 23. Right. Just to provide you a little bit of context of what a big man, his role can look like with the ball in his hands when he's playing with two ball-dominant guards.
All right, that's good. That's a good comparison.
We're going to move on. One last, just so you guys just give you other comparison to usage rate. Giannis leads the league this year in usage rate with a 36.6% usage rate, which means they run about 37% of their possessions through him. SGA, Luka, Wemby, Tatum, Cade Cunningham, Jokic only has a 30.1 usage rate, which makes what he does so impressive.
Yeah.
But 23.4 is a step up and a good number for your third guy. He's on the higher end.
But is he their third
It'll
guy?
be-
Isn't he a better player than Darius Garland?
But I'm just saying in terms of usage rate.
Third, yeah,
Garland's
having a
usage
rock.
rate's 26.9. Mobley, not Mobley. Donovan's 30.2.
Is Evan Mobley a better NBA player than Darius Garland?
They're two totally different.
I know that, but
players.
if you had to make
I
a
would
list,
I would take Evan over Darius right
I
now.
would.
Yes, I mean,
the
he's a
defensive
big.
component's the
It's
difference.
exactly it.
Yeah, he's big.
And Evans, I think Evans' usage rate's only going to continue to go up in future years.
Right. Yeah. It's
So.
exciting. And all these guys are going to be here.
Yeah.
It's a great
It's an exciting time to be a
great
Cavs
thing
fan.
to
It really
have.
is. Go